Hey, good morning, Nord. How's it going, man?
Hey, money, it's going well. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well. Got your power all back in line and
Okay.
back on the grid.
Yeah, that's right. It was a little over a week ago. Yeah, it's crazy. Kind of had a big storm blow through and knocked a lot of power out here in the city, and we were out for 2 full days, almost three.
Wow, wow.
Yeah,
That's kind of you expect it in the winter, not as much during the
yeah, yeah. Well,
spring summer
yeah,
transition.
yeah, and we're not rural or anything, right? We're just kind of in the suburbs, so it's pretty rare to have that kind of a major outage.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Lancer said that last week when he hopped up here with it and with me and co-hosted, and it's like, yeah, he's out of power. I'm like, what? You just don't expect to
Yeah,
hear that. So
yeah,
it's
yeah. It's crazy. It's all right though. We were good to go. Got the generator running and got everything hooked up, and we were good to go.
nice. That's one of
Yep.
those things I'm like, I should probably get a generator at some point. And I'm going to get it and then I'm not going to use it for 10 years. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
the year I need it is the year I get rid of it.
yeah. That's how it goes.
Hey, you timed it well. You timed it well. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
very nice. Well, man, we've had a busy week. It feels like a lot
We
going on.
have. Yeah, there is. There's a lot of stuff going on as usual behind the scenes, but then also yeah, some really cool stuff we've been doing. With the new game exploration and that kind of stuff too.
For sure. Well, we can kick things off here. Welcome to the SPS Weekly, the Super Phoenix Sports weekly X space that we do. We share updates about what we've got coming up, what has just happened, the events that we've just shared. We have a couple actually to talk about this week, and then what we've been building long term, and we also give a bit of a behind the scenes, building a public type of discussions and chat with different team members that come up and share. Last week we had a few different people. We had Nopera up, one of our main hosts. We had Lanzer co-hosted with me, one of our other leads here, and then we had Oxmed and yeah, it was a lot of fun getting to connect with people and hear what everybody's been deep into here. So, um, but yeah, this week we had a lot going on as we mentioned before. We had our Illuvium event, which was on last Sunday, which we'll kind of kick off and do first. We'll follow it up with a new event during the week that we just launched, and then what we've got coming up this Sunday. So let's jump into Illuvium. How did that go in your mind?
Yeah, overall it went really well. So, I was on there in the beginning. We kind of did the whole debrief with the team, made sure everybody was, on top of what they needed to do. It went really smooth because, Illuvium is a fairly mature game in the Web3 space now. And so the gameplay was pretty easy for us to cast, which was great. And really the spectator kind of mode or version is wide open, even on public matches. So we could pretty much jump in and stream any of the players that we had kind of brought in, that wanted to play for that event, as well as honestly, you could hop in and pretty much stream anybody who's just playing in kind of the public space. So that made it really easy, which was great. But I think the turnout was really good. We kind of piloted a little bit different style setup where we encouraged a whole bunch of folks to kind of come into more of a group chat in the Discord while they were participating and just kind of paying attention to everything we're doing versus only being on Twitch or only being on YouTube, right? So we've kind of opened up the Discord that way too, which went really well. We had, I think, almost 45 people, I think, in at that time live, which was great for kind of the group chat and the gameplay. And then on top of it, we had a guest caster, which was awesome too. We had Scalen, who is effectively kind of one of the pseudo experts in the Illuvium space, does a lot of hosting for their events and kind of game casting as well. So that went great. Him and Nopera kind of tag team on that one. And I think it gave everyone who's paying attention a lot more background on what Illuvium is and kind of that gameplay and how that's going. And like I said, hopefully we brought in a few folks, from those communities to kind of check out what we're doing going forward. But yeah, overall it went great. And for the people who did participate, we kind of had a raffle that was live during that game. Actually, just got all those payments out here the other day, so we should be in great shape. And we're on to the next.
Awesome. Yeah, it was really cool meeting. One of the things I like about this, kind of visiting all these different communities and stuff during the week, we're jumping into their Discords, we're chatting with their team members, their community members, and I feel like we're finding great people to hop on with us at some of these of the live events.
Mm-hmm.
and get in the conversation. I invited him actually last week. It was kind of a last minute ad, and he wasn't able to jump in, but very supportive and just so knowledgeable in the game. So
Yeah.
it's fun to have those community members and just advocates jump in with us and be excited about us being able to showcase what they've been participating in with some for years, right? So
Hmm.
it was a lot of fun to make those connections, and I feel like we've got some good community activity going on the Discord, and you mentioned that a little bit, and I wanted to quickly just jump into that really quick. One of the big updates that we did this last, I guess, has it been 2 weeks, week and a half, 2 weeks, was really a revamp of what our Discord is. As it's been a bit quieter of a working hub, essentially prior, and it's come alive, with some of the activities and different things that we've been doing and meeting these community members. And I know Oxmed and team have put in a lot of work into revving it up, kind of taking it to the next level of what a Discord is for a community. So if you haven't joined the Super Phoenix Sports Discord, we definitely want look at the account. We'll get should be links you can connect with or message me or Nord, and we can get you connected over there because that's kind of our hub of what we've got going on. So if you're interested in watching, participating, want to be involved, or just see what's happening with how we build, definitely jump into the Discord and yeah, connect with us there. We're pretty open community, and it's been a lot of fun. I mean, I'm looking over there now, and there's already people hanging out in the lounge right now. I see Oxmed over there with other team members and such. You can jump in and chat with people. We have community games that are going on. People are connecting with. It's a great spot. So I definitely want to invite people to do there to stop by and participate and just get involved. So
Yeah, I would say just to maybe kind of echo that, right, or comment on that is you're absolutely right, Money, is that, we opened up the Discord, I think, kind of, toward, well, gosh, it's been a while now. It's probably been since late last year when
yeah.
we were just pulling the team together, right? And originally it was just kind of an operations channel, right? That's where we needed to organize, what we were doing, what the different team groups were doing, operations and support and kind of the stream folks, and then managing the players, in and out of the tournaments and all that kind of stuff. So it started out really functional. And I think now we've kind of gotten to that point where we realize there's a huge value here. Is what we're trying to do is bring these communities together, right? We're trying to feature these games and provide this entertainment value. And so now, obviously, this is the next step for us is kind of opening up that Discord, creating more of the open community chats, the general chat lines, and some of the game specifics. And we've got a little point system now and kind of a coin system and reward system just for general participation and kind of hanging out with us and seeing what we're featuring next. So yeah, really excited to kind of open that up and start, like you said, building a real kind of regularly sustainable community in the Discord based on all these communities that we're reaching out to and featuring games with, and kind of targeting that as we grow.
I do think one of the great things I loved about Star Atlas and then Super Phoenix Sports, and as we expand into these other games, it's such an international group, right? So
Oh yeah.
the value of the Discord is that you can jump in there at any point, and there's somebody that's around from the team. There's somebody that's
Yes.
up playing. There's
Yep.
somebody that's doing something that if you need help, if you need to just chat about upcoming events and stuff, usually a team member is pretty responsive, and they're just as part of the community and such. So it's been a good step up, rev up, I
Hmm.
think for us, and I appreciate Ahmed and team taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
I was getting notifications. I'm like, why is my phone blowing up? Like a week and a half ago, I'm like, what's going on in this Discord? It's like usually, as we have our meeting stuff, and there's some chat and stuff, but like, what is all this? What are all these alerts? And I looked at them like, oh, we've done it's next level now. So
It is.
it's
It is. And it's funny. I was actually, even myself, I was getting caught up just earlier today in the start here kind of menu that really gives you the full breakdown and all the details because, obviously I've been talking with the folks ahead of time and they were kind of alluding to this is the plan, this is the structure they wanted to do. I thought it was great. And so we were all for moving forward with it. But of course, even even until just now, I didn't have every specific detail, outlined. And they're just getting after it. They're putting it out there. They're publishing it. They're making it live. Yeah, and so it's been really great to see how that's kind of growing and becoming its own thing for, like you said, a hub and kind of a social spot now to land, which has always been kind of the long-term goal and the vision of everything that Super Phoenix is doing is kind of creating this hub and this entertainment space and linking these communities and creating the content. So it's great.
Yeah, definitely. And I love the guide. I love the. I think we have a SPS community program like season zero starts here.
Yep,
So
exactly.
it's a great. They put a lot of work into it. So I definitely, if you haven't checked it out, hop on there, get involved. That wasn't a planned promo for the Discord, but I think we definitely want to make sure that we are highlighting some of the work that people are doing there, and they've done a lot of cool stuff. So all right, let's head on to our next thing on the topic. I have, we covered Illuvium. We have a big event coming up this Sunday, and I was hoping you could share. I haven't played this game yet, and I was in there yesterday and the day before, kind of looking at stuff to kind of get comfortable. This has been a fun experience as we kind of take this tour around gaming. And
Yeah, absolutely. So
sorry,
you're
my
yeah.
I said it all right then. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, so we're kind of getting into this Sunday, which is the Rockhounds kind of game exploration, right?
Yep.
Yep. And so yeah, this one looks a lot of fun. And I'll be honest, it was actually brought to us by Crimson, right? Who's kind of our game lead and kind of ops lead now. And he was just kind of paying attention to it, I think, for a bit as just general interest, kind of a fun up and coming game. There was kind of a promo that's going to be coming out, via Steam because it's the PC game that they'll be out there. There's, I would say the Web3 component of is a little bit light at this stage. They are doing kind of a token concept, I think, for kind of helping with general game funding. But I think this initial version, which is the free to play kind of open version, doesn't really have a direct crypto component to it, which is perfectly fine. I think that's a good way for these guys to start. But the gameplay looks fun. I mean, the graphics look really cool. It's sort of a top down, um, like strategy type, tower base type game, right? And it's aliens, it's soldiers, it's a little bit futuristic. It's kind of in our sci-fi realm.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of kind of the old top-down games. If I'm being honest, like real-time strategy is one of my old go-tos. So it's similar in that regard. So yeah, I think the gameplay looks pretty fun. It looks cool. It's a new up-and-coming game. It's something a little bit different for us to feature, but it's still sort of in our space futuristic genre. And I guess one of the other really cool parts about it is this is another one of those new games and new game studios that we've been able to get directly in touch with, and they've been really supportive, which is great. So, as a matter of fact, I think one of the actual developers from the game studio is going to be on with us kind of during the show on Sunday, which should be a lot of fun because we'll get obviously, some real expertise and a lot of background behind the scenes info and some very cool alpha, about the game kind of while we're doing the tournament and kind of playing through it. And so yeah, this one should be a lot of fun, and it'll be curious to see where it kind of goes, and we'll definitely keep it on our radar, as we go forward. I think they're having a much larger scale promotional, rollout later this summer, maybe in like the
Okay.
August September timeframe, something like that. So we'll keep an eye on all of that, but I think this is a really fun one to showcase now that it's operational and, like I said, free to download and play. And getting the devs in there to give us some really good background on it, I think is a great ad.
Yeah, I was watching some gameplay and such as well, and I was like, oh, this is giving me that top down view that I feel like we don't see a lot as much.
Sure.
I jumped into some other older games and stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, this used to be a pretty huge genre, but kind of
Yeah.
seeing it reimagined with what they've built and such, and I love the newer or smaller studio vibe and promoting
Mhm.
and sharing that, and so you have some of that accessibility that we don't always get from a AAA studio and such. So it'll be fun to see that play out, and it definitely gave me some of that, like, I don't know, it was a Command and Conquer and like the
Yeah,
Warcraft
yeah,
3, and it's like
yeah.
where you're yeah, a lot of chaos moving around and you're controlling this board, right? So
Yep.
uh,
And that's where it's so funny when I think about, back, dating myself, right? So back in the kind of early phase of gaming for me, we're talking late 90s, early 2000s. That's what I was playing, right? I was
yep.
playing stuff like SimCity and Warcraft 2, and then getting into
Oh
the
yeah.
StarCraft games and the Command and Conquer games, and like, man, those were a really fun genre back then.
those
Um,
those games really locked you into your screen too. It was like you
yeah,
couldn't
they
look
did. Yeah, they
away.
did.
you know
Yeah, absolutely right. You're real busy. There's a lot going on, yeah, to manage. And again, yeah, the defense, base building, kind of resource gathering stuff has always been a vibe of mine that I like too. So yeah, that kind of component I think is very cool. Should be a lot of fun, and it's cool to see new games, like you said, kind of tapping into that old genre. Age of Empires style, that stuff, man. It was
Oh
just,
yeah.
just hours and hours of like LAN party style games I remember in college and stuff. And so it's just cool. It's kind of reminiscent. But yeah, it's got a new vibe to it. I think, a lot of the stuff they can do now with the studios and the graphics and the engines and stuff just make those things really come to life, which is kind of cool. So yeah, excited to kind of showcase it this weekend and see what it's all about and give folks just another kind of flavor here of another game expansion. Like I said, that we were, it's just a combination of their kind of looking into, Web3 components for this game as they roll it out. And then also, like you said, just the kind of indie studio vibe and the ability to really connect with the people building the game, I think is a huge component too.
I think we, from our team side of things, we definitely have we want to see people start something up and support those that are building, and especially if it's a smaller group and such, because we've been there, we know how that goes and such. So
Yep.
it's great having people, great having different people or different communities to support you and to show what you're doing, and so we've had that from our obviously our Star Atlas community and the different groups there, but yeah, it's going to be fun to see that play out and to see how the game feels as a live event.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very nice. Well, that's coming up. We went over last Sunday. Let's jump into Wednesday. We launched something new this week, and it really was part of that ramp, tied to that ramp up with Oxmed as Nopera leading the charge with a Wednesday game nights, and Wilder World was the featured game for this. How did that come to fruition, and how do you think it went?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess right out of the gate, I think it went extremely well, better than expected. If I'm being honest, I think they knocked it out of the park, which is great. So yeah, huge shout out to Nopera and Axmed and a handful of the other folks on the team to really make that happen and bring it together, which is great. And I think it's so kind of the genesis there was really interesting. It wasn't anything we really had on the radar a few weeks back, and then as we're doing this game expansion, um, the week or the Sunday before last, we did the Wilder World kind of game, exploration, and it just turns out that went extremely well. We got a lot of great feedback from the community. We had Kingbreaker on as kind of a co-host with that one. Obviously, very in tune with that game and that community, which has been a huge help. And then Nopera himself has also been pretty heavily involved in that community, so it kind of made a lot of sense to target that as our first alternate game. But then effectively, what spun off of it is we had a lot of, like I said, really good community feedback, and that community used to host their own kind of game nights. And there were a lot of folks talking about how they missed it, how they were really looking forward to it back then, and just a lot of fun. And so Nopera effectively just came to me straight up and said, "Hey, I think we can do this." Based on the feedback and the community that was there just from a couple weeks ago. And I said, "Yeah, absolutely. Let's explore it. Let's see what we need to do. Let's see who's available from the team and how we can kind of pull it together." And so again, hats off to those guys because they really took the lead on this one and pulled it all together just in the last couple of weeks. And so we had the first Wednesday night Wilder World game night this past Wednesday, and I think the turnout was great. We had again, 40 plus, I think, people show up at least. A really cool part of the whole what happened there, just kind of happenstance, is when we were kind of live and doing the game night. Frank Wilder, so one of the co-founders on the dev team and the actual studio team, jumped in and basically played alongside, with everybody for the entire session, which was very cool. So we got some really good kind of time there with the development team to kind of play along and really support what we're doing. So that was a huge boost. That was very cool to see. It's kind of a support side, and then the plan is to kind of keep those going forward here in the near future. Because again, a lot of community support. It seems to be
Yep.
going well. So I think we're going to stick with Wilder World, on these Wednesdays as kind of the game night, portion of this as we go for the next few weeks, and we'll kind of take it from there and see if it makes sense to expand to other games and
Right.
whatnot.
And it's a great community activity. It's something obviously it's easy for them to support too. And I mean, just jumping on and sharing about your game is a great component. We're seeing that from Wilder Worlds. We're seeing that with our upcoming weekend game and such as well. And yeah, one of the great things about a game night type of thing is like, if there's something that comes up, we want to feature a one off or something. There's other nights of the week to throw a game night on, right? Too. So
Yeah.
it's an opportunity. But I love the active community. I think we had over 112 live viewers, and then
Yeah.
obviously more replays as right off the bat, right
Yep. Yeah.
afterwards too.
Viewership was great. Yeah. And then, like I said, and then active players and active folks in the Discord was excellent as well. So I think, being that it was the first kickoff, it went really, really well. Um, yeah, we'll kind of keep it going and see what we can do with it. Start to really bring in some of these audiences. Try and push a little bit more of the engagement as well. I mean, as we've got people's attention and we're starting to get them on board and we want to bring them into the Discord, like we mentioned before. Yeah, I think this really helps with just kind of overall visibility and engagement for Super Phoenix in general. So yeah, we're excited to bring it. I think it came together really, really well, and especially in kind of a short term fashion. And yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for us to just, like I said, get more involved in these communities, get more content out to people, and just kind of keep the thing growing.
And it's kind of a two-way street, I think, with for community wise and game wise. When you have, you know, I feel like we had our, some of our core Star Atlas players were hopping in and playing Wild Worlds, or hopping in and playing some of these other games and such
Oh
and
yeah.
participating. So you're bringing these communities together and they're
Yep.
interacting. You have Chimera players, you have, all these different communities that are jumping in and playing with each other and getting exposure to different games they may not have ever played, but wanting to compete in something because they're just natural competitors.
Yeah, 100%. And I definitely saw that. It was really cool to see some of the typical, high octane players that we see in our Star Atlas stuff actually jump in and play World of World. I think that was great. Yeah, and the more we can do that, right, the more we can kind of cross pollinate these communities. I think the better for everybody. Absolutely.
Awesome. And for those that are watching, some of the, we have now two events throughout the week that you can jump in and watch and experience. And we have some awesome hosts. We have one in the chat right here with us in the space here, Marengo down there. But Marengo and Napera bring a lot of fun, and our guest hosts that jump in with them as well. It's great activity. If you want to participate, you can participate in a couple different ways. You can either get into Discord and find out about how to play. You can get involved with different um, components on our website as we keep developing that. That will make it kind of fun to get, to watch and ramp up the viewing experience. Or you can participate in your own way by, like, one of the big things we've started to push within our team, and I think we can share with the viewers, is if you're watching on Twitch and whatnot, or you enjoy clipping, drop some clips on Twitch on parts that you enjoy. That helps our team as well, as we're going through trying to clip. I've clipped some myself, and that allows us to share some of those awesome moments from the, both the Wednesday and the Sunday streams, whether it's a awesome gameplay, a sick move, a sick race, or hilarious commentary. I think there's a lot of that aspect to it, so people can get involved in that way as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we're definitely looking forward to kind of pushing out, the content as much as we can, encouraging, community members to kind of jump in on that. And it's going great. Like I said, I think we're expanding here as we go, especially with new game communities, new game content, and now both the Wednesdays and the Sundays. Yeah, it's coming together really well.
Awesome. I think the final thing I have on my list, and if there's anything you want to add in there, feel free to. But it was just an update on the Triad tournament date. We had mentioned, I think, a little bit and shared some, but we updated the DAO, the Star Atlas DAO, which has been a supporter of the Triad tournament, this week in their Discord, letting them know of an adjustment to the date, as we want to make sure that we are giving the developers enough time to kind of not fix, but build out what is needed for us to feature all three game modes and such. But do you want to share a little bit about that thought and then the date?
Yeah, absolutely. So originally, we were kind of targeting the very end of June here, but again, the whole DAO process took a little bit longer than we had originally thought. But everything is good. The DAO's passed. We're great. It was I think what 70 to somewhere between 70-80% for. So we did great as far as the DAO voting goes, and kind of getting that support from the DAO for that major event. So it all went through really well. But effectively, you're right. There's one component, kind of the newest component of the triad. So the whole idea, right? The triad being kind of the three game modes in UE5 that Star Atlas offers: the racing, the shooter, and then kind of this new siege mode is what they're calling it, which is effectively a dogfighting kind of in space
Mm-hmm.
setup. And as far as just getting in and kind of playing, one on one, I think the game functions fine. The catch for us is we've still got there's a few glitches as far as being able to spectate those and kind of turn it into more of a tournament style spectated match. So there's just a few tweaks that we're in conversation with the dev team over at Star Atlas about. They've obviously got some other pretty big deliverables right now on the horizon, so resources are kind of being diverted, which is part of the reason. I think a little bit more time should get us in a much better place.
Yeah.
But otherwise, that's about it. Because ultimately, the team on our side is pretty much ready to go. We've got the structure and everybody in place. So the idea now is we're going to postpone to the end of July, effectively given another month to kind of structure things, organize them a little bit, and like I said, hopefully get that spectator component up and running for the third leg of the triad from Star Atlas, and we'll kind of work with them, commentary on exactly what's going on in the gameplay right now, to kind of work toward that. But then in the meantime, that gives us a little bit more game exploration to do here, between now and then, through the end of June and into July.
Yeah, I think that it's not necessarily a race to finish or to to get to the event. We want it to be a good event, right? We want it to be
Yeah, exactly,
we want to
exactly.
feature that what they've been building, because it is a really cool platform. If you haven't been on Star Atlas, if you're joining us from some of the other communities, I invite you to check it out, because there's so much to do in the Star Atlas realm, right? It's like,
Yeah,
what kind of game do you want to play? We've got it. So
yeah.
but it is something that they're building and having to support all these different game modes, and one step forward always has some components that you have to go back and fix and keep moving
Hmm.
forward to kind of drag along with you. So development is not a quick, easy thing, and we want to be able to feature the best possible representation of Star Atlas. So I think that the adjustment was a good move, because I'm excited to try out the game mode and the
Hmm.
newest variation of it. So I want people to be able to see that, and I think that was a good call by you and Lanzer and the deciders of that. So
Sure, sure. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, right. We want to have the best experience we can and kind of put it out there and put the best foot forward. So I think a little bit of time, hopefully gets us there where we need to. And again, we've got plenty of other communities that we're in touch with now and sort of working towards. So we'll kind of continue, I think, that theme, over the next few weeks as we also in parallel kind of ramp up toward the Triad tournament. So
yeah, I think part of yeah, it's been good. It's allowed us to do some fun things and to come and learn some new things and to adjust and grow as well. So we understand the flexible side of things, or flexibility side of things, and very well. And so yeah, it'll be fun to see that come to fruition, but also give us time to set up some potential lead up to that as well. I know you've mentioned potentially having some of the Star Atlas team jump on here with us too, and as we get
yeah.
closer as well. So I'm looking forward to that, and I think we'll have some of our team members up that are the deep, hardcore Star Atlas players that have been here for so long, jumping into the conversation too, because I know it's something we're all passionate about and we want to see do well. So I'm looking forward to that as we get closer to the Triad tournament. So that is one thing that we do have coming up, is featuring some of those conversations.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that should be a lot of fun. Like you said, yeah, definitely the folks on the team, Star Atlas team have confirmed that they are happy to do that. We'll just get it scheduled now, depending on the new schedule. And then, like you said, I think there's some players and stuff we can get in here, team members as usual. And I think it'll be a lot of fun for a few of these chats in the next few weeks. It's kind of the run up to those things. And then, like I said, we'll kind of keep doing the same thing too with some of the new games that we're going to continue to move forward with as well.
Love it. Anything else you want to cover today? I know we got a lot out of you 2 weeks ago, so
Yeah.
I don't want to push too hard, because I know I don't want to get in trouble later.
No. I think
But
yeah. A lot of that stuff is pretty similar, kind of on track. Like I said, there's still a lot of planning going on behind the scenes. I'm always kind of running in a 3 to 6 months ahead kind of schedule when it comes to planning and what the strategy is and who we need to reach out to and kind of contact and sort of the direction for SPS going forward. So that's kind of where I've been lately. These last couple of weeks, there's a lot of planning that's going into the next 3 months as sort of a sprint. In addition to the things we just talked about now that have all kind of come online in these last couple of weeks, which is amazing. July seems to be what we're targeting is kind of more of a Web 2 gaming month,
okay,
which should be a lot of fun because I think there's a couple of really popular genres out there. Obviously, I think we've already talked about the Battlefront 2 and Star Wars as being one that we're looking heavily into right now and would love to bring that together as a tournament because there's kind of a new PC mod version community for that old game that's kind of resurrected it. So that's pretty cool. And then there's a couple others that we're still kind of deliberating on and trying to find direct connections to and like I said, guest casters and that sort of thing. But we'll be working to line those up over the next few weeks and just kind of keep it going.
Awesome. I think one of the things that Lancer might have, I don't know if it was leaked or shared last week, and was a potential breakpoint attendance by certain team members and such. And I know that
Oh yeah.
so that was something that I like the long planning. You know, looking
Yes.
forward that 3 to 6 month. I love to see it. So that
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
exciting to that. He mentioned yourself and he were looking to go to that, and I think we have some other team members that are as
Yeah, we
well.
definitely will. And I can, yeah, I'm sure if he kind of put some of that stuff out there, I wouldn't say it's necessarily secret per se, but we've got a bit more
Early
kind of planning
stage.
to do. Yeah, more planning to do on exactly what that event's going to be. But ultimately, this will be the third breakpoint that I will have attended kind of on behalf of Super Phoenix. And so we've really made it's become kind of a staple now for us, which is great. 2 years ago, it was sort of the inaugural coming out of the brand and Super Phoenix DAO and all those things, which went really well, made a lot of great connections, got to talk to a lot of people. And then this past year was when we kind of brought Super Phoenix Sports, out as sort of its inaugural event. Which was the tournament and the watch party and the things we did there. So now we're kind of looking on similar scope, right? We'll still be definitely myself and Lanzer will be there. We'll see. I think a couple other team members, maybe he already mentioned, I know have kind of said that they'll likely attend. And then certainly there's always a group of folks from the Star Atlas community in general that tend to always be at these events. So I think we'll start to pull in these community members as well as our own team members and kind of structure what that event's going to look like. I will say, there's certainly more to come on it and details we're working out right now. But in any case, we're definitely going to have a physical live kind of side event during that time frame in mid-November. So
Exciting. Hey, I won't push
yeah.
any. I won't push any beyond that. But that was just. I know that's
Yeah.
a big thing that people have on their calendars, and we want to make sure
Sure. Absolutely.
put that in the back burner in
Yep.
your minds and such. And but yeah, I
Yeah.
know last I think it was around the same time, right? Was it October or November-ish that
Yeah, it's always kind of in the fall, and it's moved around a bit. Last year was December, which was a little
okay.
late in the year. Previously, I think it was October or no, September. Anyway, this one is mid-November, like the 15th through the 17th, I believe, something like that.
Okay. Probably
So again,
timing
I
wise a
encourage,
little.
anyone who's thinking about going or is
Yeah.
going to be in the vicinity or is anywhere kind of involved in that Solana ecosystem, absolutely would love to have you guys there. And it's great to always see people, meet people in person. And like I said, regardless of which direction we're going, we're absolutely going to have a live event ready to go for people.
So join the Discord or hop on weekly with us here if you want to keep up to date on that. So it's I'm looking forward to hearing about it. It was fun. It was pretty early in the for the team last year when you were over there. We had got the event going for that and such, and
Mm-hmm.
learning more and more about that. But yeah, it feels kind of crazy. It's already looking at that will be around a year, so it's been
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, I know. That's
kind of marked in my mind by Breakpoint. So
yeah. By those events, yeah, we'll be almost a full year in with SPS, which is great.
awesome. All right. Well, I think that probably a good wrap before we leak too much alpha out there. But I appreciate you hopping on with me. I know it's we've all got busy things going on and such, but it's good to get this out there, share with people, have a nice record of what's going on, and people can jump in later on. As we mentioned, it is a global community, so timing wise, it doesn't always work for everyone. So that's one of the nice aspects about an X space. So thanks so much. And any final words?
No, I think we covered quite a bit of it. I don't know if Oxmed here has something to quick
Oh,
wrap
I
or
didn't see him hop up. There he is.
yeah,
The
we
man,
had
the
a
myth,
couple
the
folks hop
legend.
in at the end. So if you've
Hello.
got something you want to share,
This is
this is
it.
the time. Yeah.
First of all, I'd like to share that I apologize because I wasn't here on time for X Space. Anyway, I'm right here now. Uh, well, I think you guys were wrapping it up. Is there anything that you guys have any questions about or anything of the sort? Because Super Phoenix Sports has moved a lot lately.
Hey, we were actually just we had a whole segment on you and and Nopera and the
Oh,
Discord and the updates and
Yeah.
such, and we were
well,
actually saying how it's been a big step, a big change over the last couple of weeks for the Discord and the community side of things, and you guys have ramped up the experience there. It's become a hub for SPS. So yeah,
yes, yes, wonderful. And we're gonna have a lot more now for our community. Our community, we have things that they can progress through with us in our intern community system. And there's so many good stuff coming on the upcoming weeks to months. Just join, guys. Don't miss this one because uh, the word has started to spread, and we are so excited and so stoked, and so much good stuff coming. It's just, yeah,
it's exciting, man.
it's wonderful. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Very much so. Well, the yeah, one of the cool things is if you are following SPS, if you're hopping on and there's, you're watching different players and such, one of the cool things is you can jump in there if you want to chat. There's events that people are doing and just people getting together and gaming and such as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, we encourage anybody to hop in. Obviously, if you're interested in learning more about participating on the building and team side of things, Oxmed is also your guy for that. There, you can get connect with him there as well. So it's the hub, man. So it's
Well, about that, it's kind of changed a little bit lately because we got overwhelmed by people asking to join in.
nice.
So we had to kind of now close that, and you can get to the role that gives you that gets you really close to the team through a progression inside our Discord. Just join the Discord, and we can explain everything.
Love it.
Yep.
Hey, smooth funnel, get people in, get them to the places they
Yep.
need to go, and get connected.
Yep.
So,
And those apologies again. I didn't make it on time, but I mean, at least I got a few words on our X space.
hey, that's the great thing about the space. We'll be here next week. You
Yep.
can jump
Oh
back up
yeah.
in.
Yep.
Yeah, there's more to come, and I'm sure Oxmed we're going to keep developing, some of the perks and the components in the Discord. So yeah, we'll definitely be able to hit it going forward on these X spaces as well, and it'll be really cool to see kind of the growth of the community now in that, in the Discord as a real kind of social hub and location for players and people who just want to stay up to date on everything we're doing. It's great.
I couldn't say it any better.
Awesome. On that note, let's get to Rockhounds this Sunday. We invite everybody to join us. We'll be back Sunday live on all four of the streaming platforms that we share on: X, Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. You can join us on any of those. That kicks off at what time is that?
3 p.m. EDT.
All right, there we go. 3 p.m. EDT will be kicking off. So we invite everybody to join us on those platforms. And if you want to find out more, hop in the Discord. That's a great place to start. So have a great weekend. Thanks, guys, so much for joining me. And we'll see you next week.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Later.